ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ ಹರಿ ಓಂ. ಓಂ ಅಖಂಡಾನಂದ ಸಂಬೋಧಃ ವಂದನಾತ್ಯಸ್ಯ ಜಾಯತೆ ಗೋವಿಂದಂ ತಮಹಂ ವಂದೇ ಚಿದಾನಂದತನುಂ ಗುರುಂ. ಇತಿ ಸ್ವಂ ಆತ್ಮಾನಮವೇಕ್ಷ್ಯಮಾನಃ ಪ್ರತೀತದೃಶ್ಯಂ ಪ್ರವಿಲಾಪಯನ್ ಸದಾ ಜಹಾತಿ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ವಿಪರೀತ ಭಾವಂ ಸ್ವಾಭಾವಿಕ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿವಶಾತ್ ಪ್ರತೀತಂ. ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್. So he said, Swam Atmanam Vikshamanaha iti Swam Atmanam, one who sees his own self without getting disturbed, one who sees his own self. This is what is said in the Aschidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham or Subrammanyoham Subrammanyoham Subrammanyoham. In these phrases, this is what is mentioned. To be established in our own self that we are not all these bodies and organ complex, we are not any of this. To get rid of all these wrong ideas and be established in this self. By being established in this self, pratita drishyam avekshamanaha pratita drishyam sada pravilapyam. You have to merge, meaning by holding on to the self, you are not associated all these things which are seen right from the body sense organ complex. Therefore, what they become insignificant. When they become insignificant, that means they have no existence. If you don't give them importance, they lose existence. So, sada pravilapyan vidvan svābhavika bhranti vashat pratitam viparīta bhavam jahati. This vidvan, this learned one, he gives up the natural erroneous knowledge. Natural erroneous knowledge. Yes, natural erroneous knowledge. If the erroneous knowledge is natural, how can I get rid of it? You cannot get rid of anything which is natural. Yes. The natural state for fire is to give heat, to produce heat. And water, cold. You cannot get rid of it. True. Your inherent nature is not that. When we say swabhavika, why he uses that word swabhavika? It's a very pet word for Bhagavan Bhashyakara to use swabhavika, swabhava in the case of ignorance. So why is he using swabhava? That's a very beautiful thing. Swabhava, natural. Then that is a key word actually. Why he uses swabhava? Don't discuss about that. If you say it is natural for me, then we don't ask any question. How can that be natural? It's natural. So you don't question anything that is natural. So he says swabhava bhranti vasha. That is why he uses that word, natural. Okay. Now, viparīta. So now this whole savikalpa samadhi, the practice of savikalpa drishyanuviddha samadhi is over. Now, viparītātmatāsphūrtireva muktiritīryate sadā samāhitasyaiva saiṣā sidhyati nānyathā. viparītātmatāsphūrtireva muktiritīryate sadā samāhitasyaiva saiṣā sidhyati nānyathā. viparītātmatāsphūrtireva. viparītātmatāsphūrtireva. Not asphurti means not experiencing. Not experiencing what? Viparītātmata. The identification with non-self. Seeing the non-self to be self. That is the contradictory knowledge, erroneous knowledge. So that not or viparītātma asphūrtireva. These non-self, these which are non-self, not experiencing them. That is muktiritīryate. This is what is called as mukti. Mukti means not identifying with a non-self. Mukti is not experiencing all these non-selves. Okay? Ityevaiṣā. That is what is called as mukti. Okay. Saiṣā. How do I gain that? Saiṣā sadā samāhitasyaiva sidhyati. That is experiencing only by one who, that is accomplished, gained only by one who is always samāhita, who remains samāhita. Samāhita, the word samāhita means samāhita, samadhana. Samadhana means samadhi. Samāhita can mean tranquil. Samāhita can mean samadhi. A mind, one whose mind is tranquil. One whose mind is in samadhi. Meaning he is not attached to things externally. He is not disturbed by things externally. That is samāhitacidātmanā. Okay. Now, nānyathā. Otherwise, you will not gain that state. Okay. Otherwise means, why are you saying that otherwise you will not? Na veṣabhāṣābhiramuṣya mukti ya kevalākhaṇḍacidātmanā sthitiḥ tatsiddhaye svātmani sarvada sthitah jahyādahantāṃ mamatāmupādhau na veṣabhāṣābhiramuṣya mukti ya kevalākhaṇḍacidātmanā sthitiḥ tatsiddhaye svātmani sarvadā sthitah jahyādahantāṃ mamatāmupādhau. Beautiful. Kevalākhaṇḍacidātmanā ya sthitiḥ, that state of existing, being established in that state of kevala, non-dual, akhanda, inseparable, or non-divided, non-dual, non-divided, chid, consciousness, atmana, self. So, being in the state of non-dual, indivisible self, consciousness, that being established in that is a mukti, is called as liberation. Okay. Now, for this fellow amuṣya, veṣabhāṣābhih na. For this fellow, it cannot be gained through veṣabhāṣā. Veṣa, the decorations, the external, the insignificance, the external dressings and all that. Okay. Bhasha, the language. If you are going to use a pure language, or if you know Sanskrit, or if you know any traditional language, in the language experts are there for that. We have no intention to compete with them in that field. So, if a person can understand, even if your language is simple language, don't be worried about it. If another person can understand it, that is what is important. Language is to communicate your ideas. What is more than that? So, bhasha, your refined language does not give you liberation. Vesha, your decoration. This is exactly what Bhagavan Bhashyakara says in Bhajagovindam. Remember? Udara nimittam bahukruta vesham. People wear different ornaments and different decorations and different insignificance for the sake of stomach, just to earn their livelihood. That's all, nothing else. So we have, see, in Sanskrit it is called linga sannyasa. Sannyasa, linga dharana or linga sannyasa. Sannyasa, we know renunciation. For renunciation, people wear ochre robe, danda, etc. All those are externalities. So, sannyasa means, what is sannyasa? Nyasam sannyasa lakshanam. What is sannyasa? No, being non-attached is sannyasa. Giving the attachment to sannyasa, not the external insignificance. So, tatsiddhaye, to gain that mukti, what should you do? Svātmani sarvadā sthitah. You should be established always in the self, that is A, and B, upādhau ahata mamatāṃ jahyāt, and give up the identification with the upadhi, the identification of I and mine. This is exactly what we begin with. Aham mama idam iti. Aham mama idam. Aham, I, mama, mine, idam, this. I, mine, this. Or you can understand it as a I, idam, mama. I, idam, mama. My, I and mine. Aham, idam, mama. Aham means I and idam means mama. Idam, mama means this is mine. So the idea of I and mine, jahyāt, should be given up. So, A, you should be established in the self. B, you should give up the identification with the body, sense, organ complex and the external things, external worlds. How? Svātmatattvaṃ samālambya kuryātprakṛtināśanam tenaiva mukto bhavati nānyathā karmakoṭibhiḥ. Svātmatattvaṃ samālambya kuryātprakṛtināśanam tenaiva mukto bhavati nānyathā karmakoṭibhiḥ. Svātmatattvaṃ samālambya. Svātmatattvaṃ, one's own inherent nature. Samālambya means holding on to it nicely, meaning becoming attached to it, grasping it, holding on to it. Prakṛtināśanam kuryāt, destroy the prakriti. Prakriti means the material cause. Material cause here is ignorance. Okay, Prakṛtināśanam means destroy the ignorance. Hold on to the self and destroy the ignorance. You don't have to do anything to destroy the ignorance. Hold on to the self, that is enough. The ignorance is as well destroyed. So, be established in the self, the ignorance is destroyed. So, Prakṛtināśanam kuryāt. You don't have to destroy the world by bombing it. You have to just hold on to the self and destroy it. Okay? Tene mukto bhavati. Only then you will be liberated from that. You will be liberated from the attachments. Nānyathā karmakoṭibhiḥ. This is a karmakoṭibhiḥ. This is a very pet word, like a punch dialogue for Bhagavan Bhāśyakara. Karmashataihi, karmakoṭibhiḥ. He'll use this word. Meaning, even if you do thousands of karmas, you will not gain mukti. You will not gain liberation. Thousands of crores of karmas cannot, millions, billions of karmas cannot give you liberation. Only this knowledge, being established in the knowledge, can give you what? Before this savikalpa samadhi, drishyatma samadhi, you explained to us to do japa, more japa, more japa. Now it is said here, nānyathā karmakoṭibhiḥ na. You cannot gain the liberation even through millions and billions of karmas. Then why are you insisting on us performing the japa? That is the question. That's a good doubt. Yes. Even now, after reading this, I repeat, do the japa. And as I told an example from Vrindavan, you either cry before the knowledge entering into the shravana or after gaining the shravana, after performing the shravana. If you don't understand, you are not going to be happy. If you understand something, I'm going to explain something and you understand, immediately there is a happiness. Even the simple knowledge, understanding gives you happiness. So if you understand the real truth, what happiness you are going to gain. So immediately that is what you have to understand. So to understand something itself is great. To understand the truth is supreme. Now, if you are not, even after being said, if you are not able to understand the truth, it is a pain. It is a great pain. Therefore, either cry before or after. It's your choice. It's up to you. So if you are going to do the japa, you are going to gain the focus, and thereby you will be able to perform all these without difficulty. What should I do? Why should I do this? Because it is said in the Shruti, is giving you pramana, proof. What is that? Jñātvā devaṃ sarvapāśāpahāniḥ kṣīṇaiḥ kleśairjanmamṛtyuprahāṇiḥ ityevaiṣā vaidikī vāgbravīti kleśairjanmamṛtyuprahāṇiḥ. This is from Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Jñātvā devaṃ sarvapāśāpahāniḥ kṣīṇaiḥ kleśairjanmamṛtyuprahāṇiḥ. This is a verbatim statement from Shvetashvatara Upanishad. This is what is a proof for us, not just for us. The Shvetashvatara Upanishad is a proof for the yogis also. Yogis take that Upanishad as their testament. What does this shloka say? Why it is proof for them? We'll see that later. Now, what does this shloka say? Jñātvā devaṃ, knowing the self, knowing the devaṃ, deity means God, means the self. Knowing the self, sarvapāśāpahāniḥ, all the pasha, all that which binds you. Pasha means the noose, that which binds you. All that noose that binds you is destroyed. Okay. Kṣīṇaiḥ, kleśairjanmamṛtyuprahāṇiḥ, when the klesha generally translating, I am saying klesha means troubles. When the troubles are removed, kṣīṇaiḥ, when they are destroyed, janmamṛtyuprahāṇiḥ, the birth and death cycle gets destroyed. Okay. Ityevaiṣā vaidikī vagbravīti. This is what this Vedic statement says. Meaning, if you know the self, your bondages are destroyed. If the bondages are destroyed, there is no birth and death cycle for you. Okay? Therefore, kleśairjanmamṛtyuprahāṇiḥ janmamṛtyuprahāṇiḥ. Therefore, we understand kleśairjanmamṛtyuprahāṇiḥ janmamṛtyuprahāṇiḥ. If the kleshas are destroyed, the birth and death cycles are destroyed. If the kleshas are destroyed, the birth and cycles are destroyed. What is klesha? What is What is the connection between this and that? A. What is klesha? B. There are two questions. So we'll understand it one by one. So first he says the cause-effect relationship. Bhuyo janmadya prasakti vimukti kleśakshatyam bhavati janmadya bhavah kleśakshatyaha hetu atmaika nishtha tasmat karyahi atmanistha mukshoh. The cause-effect relationship from the first stage till the realization, that is explained here. Bhuyo janmadi aprasaktihi vimuktihi kleśakshatyam bhavati janmadi abhavah kleśashatya hetu atmani krishta tasmat karya hi atmanistha mukshoh. Bhuyah janmadi aprasaktihi vimuktihi. What is liberation? Bhuyo vimuktihi. Let us take like that. Vimuktihi. What is liberation? Liberation is a bhuyah janmadi abhavah. Again, there is no birth and death. There is no birth and death. Okay. How do I get that no state of birth and death? Janmadi abhavah kleśatyam. The absence of birth and death is when the kleshas are destroyed. When the troubles, the kleshas are destroyed. Troublesome karmas are destroyed. Okay. How do I get that? Kleśairjanmamṛtyuprahāṇiḥ atmanistha hetu bhavati. For getting rid of the klesha, to destroy the klesha, etc., to destroy the klesha, troublesome karma, atmani krishta hetu bhavati. Being established in the self alone is the means that is seen here. That is how it is seen here. Okay. Tasma, therefore, mukshoho atmanistha karya. The mukshu should perform this practice of being established in the self. Okay. Now, being established in the self, you get rid of the klesha karma. If you get rid of klesha karma, there is absence of birth and death. If there is absence of birth and death, there is liberation. Now here he said there is liberation if there is no birth and death. There is no birth and death if there is no klesha karma. If there is no klesha karma, if there is no the cause for it, which is being established in the self. Okay, this is the cause-effect relationship. Therefore, you have to practice this being established in the self. How do I do that? First, before that, what is the klesha? That should be answered. Troublesome karma. What is the troublesome karma? This is why in Yoga Sutra, I said Yoga Sutra people also accept this Shweta Upanishad. This is why they take it as proof. Because sarva kleśairjanmamṛtyuprahāṇiḥ, it says. The Upanishad says. So that is why the Sutra also says, tatah klesha karma nivrittihi. Therefore, the klesha karmas are destroyed. There, he says, if you practice samadhi, what happens? If you practice samadhi, the karmas are burnt. If the karmas are burnt, then you gain more punya. If you gain more punya, they call it ritambara. If you gain that ritambara, then the prajna, you become established in samadhi. Samadhi, destroying karma, ritambara, samadhi, destroying karma, ritambara, samadhi, destroying karma. This is a cycle. So, you can destroy all the klesha karmas like this being established in the samadhi. That is what yogi said. That is what he said here. For the savikalpa samadhi, if you are established in the savikalpa samadhi, then you will be getting rid of the klesha karmas. What is klesha? You are not explaining that. You are keeping it as a secret. No, I am not keeping anything as secret. He says, kleśasyuvāsana eva janto janmadi karanam jñānishthāgninādahe tāsām no janma hetuta. We have heard so many things. We know that the birth that is not because of any other reason except the karmas. We say a package of karma called prarabdha karma. Right? We know that. So, the package of karmas, where did this prarabdha karma come from? From the gudon. What is that? The sanchita karma, the karmas which we have accumulated through many births. That is why we know that killing ourselves is not a means for getting rid of these problems here. Because we know you are going to be born somewhere, you are going to be born somewhere in some other immediately you will be a ghost. And the pain experience as a ghost is troublesome. We saw the tears which the relatives are going to drop is the water for them. Yeah, they are going to be hungry and thirsty. So it's a very troublesome birth. So that is why the fight to get rid of, there are only two ways for sadhakas. They either desire for being eternal or they desire for not being born again. This is what they desire. So he says, jantoho vasana eva janmadi karanam kleshaha syuh. Jantoho janmadi karanam kleshaha vasanaha eva syuh. For the beings, jantoho, for the beings, janmadi karanam, for the cause for birth, death, etc. is vasanaha, the thought imprints. And that thought imprint is what is called as klesha. What is klesha? Klesha means vasana, samskara. He is using vasana instead of samskara because samskara can also mean the karmas which are performed, like the naming karma, the naming ceremony. There are ceremonies, different ceremonies. So right from birth to death, there are different ceremonies. What birth to death? Even before birth, the impregnation is also one ceremony. So right from impregnating till the death, even after death, there are so many ceremonies. Before you are born and after you are born, after you die. So there are so many ceremonies, and after you are born, there are ceremonies also, like a naming ceremony, like a hair removing ceremony, like a food providing the first solid food. So everything is a ceremony here. Okay. Now that samskara is not which is spoken about here. It is the vasanas, thought imprints. The thought imprints are the kleshas because they are the cause for the birth and death. We know this, right? So he says, jñānishthagnina tāsam dahe. If you are going to burn that, tāsam dahe, if you are going to burn that, how? Through the fire of being established in the knowledge. Jnana-nishtha-agnina, agni, the fire. Fire, what kind of fire? Being established in knowledge is the fire. This is exactly what Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita. What does he say? Jnana-agnina sarvakarmani bhaspasat kurute tatha. With the fire of knowledge, he destroys sarvakarmani, all the karmas. Sarva is a pronoun. Sarva, all, entire karmas. There is no saving. From some people, from sarva, they'll get rid of the prarabdha karma. They'll save the prarabdha karma and say all means the agami and sanchita karmas, not prarabdha karma. No. All karmas. Bhagavan very clearly says sarva. So all the karmas are destroyed by the fire of knowledge. So jnanagnina tāsam dahe. If you are going to burn all the thought imprints, karmas are thought imprints. If you are going to burn all the thought imprints to the fire of knowledge, no janma hetuta, there is no cause for being born again. But how do you say that? Simple, I give you example. Bejanyagni dagdha pratagdhani narohanti yatha tat punaha jnānadagdhai tatha kleśaihi nātmā sampadyate punaha. Bijani agni pradagdhani narohanti yatha punaha jnānadagdhaihi tatha kleśaihi na atma sampadyate punaha. Yatha, like the example, agni pradagdhani bijani, the seeds, bijani, the seeds, agni pradagdhani, which are roasted in fire. When you roast the seeds in fire, the roasted seeds, punaha na rohanti, are not capable of sprouting, germinating. They are lost. Their power is lost. We know this. Now they sell on the roadsides, they sell the roasted groundnuts. You cannot plant that groundnut for having groundnuts. It's gone. The power of that seed is gone. Like that, similarly, jnānadagdhaihi kleśaihi, the kleshas, when they are burnt with knowledge, then atma na punaha sampadyate. This atma, this fellow, being limited, seeing himself as Jivatma, is not born again. If he burns all the karmas, all the thought imprints associated with him, then he is not born again. Okay? Tasmat muksho kartavya jnānyathā prayatnatah nisheshavasanākshatyai viparīta nivartaye. Tasmat muksho kartavya jnānyathā prayatnatah nisheshavasanākshatyai viparīta nivartaye. Tasmat, when you say tasmat, then you understand, therefore you are concluding whatever you are discussing. Okay, therefore muksho, for the people who desire liberation, nishesha vasanākshati, for getting rid of all the vasanas, nishesha, completely, entirely, to get rid of the vasanas entirely, viparīta nivartaye, and to get rid of the contradictory erroneous knowledge, prayatnatha, with effort, great effort, prakrishta prayatna, yatna is effort, but prakrishta yatna, with great effort, jñānyathā kartavya, he should have to perform the jñānyathā, being established in the self. Why is it should be done? To get rid of the vasana and to get rid of the viparīta bhavana, the idea of non-self in self, the self in non-self. Okay, now vasana kshati, there are 3 stages to be established in the self. First is mano nirodha, controlling the mind. Then vasana kṣaya, getting rid of the thought imprints. Third is mano nasha, getting rid of the mind itself. Mano nirodha, vasana kṣaya, mano nasha. These are the 3 stages. So first we do the japa to gain control over the mind, mano nirodha. Then we practice this samadhi to get rid of the vasanas, vasana kṣaya. And third, by being established, by putting the practice to be established in the self and not being identified with the external things as I and mine, you are being established in that self. Okay, so prayatnatha jnānyathā kartavya. So you should have to put forth a lot of effort. What is that prayatnatah? Na kinchidapi vichalayet. There is a statement. Na kinchidapi vichalayet. After being established in the self, after putting your mind, placing your mind in self, I am that absolute bliss. I am the witness for all these things. When you understand that, don't disturb your mind with any other thought function. Na kinchidapi, not with anything. Vichalayet, disturb it. Don't disturb your mind with any other thought function. If you are seeing yourself to be witness for all this, and you see yourself to be the witnesser, the self, the consciousness, the bliss, chidananda rupaha, then you should not disturb that state with anything else. Just try to be in that state as much as possible. By that, the vasanas, the thought imprints are completely eradicated. Okay, we'll see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.